In this video, we're going to take a look at the Mirror Cut tool. So we've completed half of our fence, and now we want to extend all of the detail that we've put here on the left side. We want to extend that over to the right. Now, I don't want to have to go through and apply our bridge and extrude along a curve and go through all of that fuss. Instead, we can just use the Mirror Cut tool to take one side and mirror it over to the other side. They do not have to be separate pieces of geometry in order for this to happen. We can do this all with the same piece or the same node. So I'm going to select my surface here. I've got a ton of history on here. I really don't want that to be a part of my mirror, so I'm going to get rid of that. Choose Edit, Delete by Type, History. And you can also see here that these pieces have not been combined. So I'm going to select all of this, switch back to the Polygons menu set, choose Mesh, Combine, and again, I'll go and delete my history, just so that I have everything to be nice and clean. Now we can go ahead and do a mirror cut on this, and we'll zoom out so we can see everything that is going to happen here. And with the object selected, I'll go to Mesh, Mirror Cut, and I want to open the tool options for the mirror cut. Since we're mirroring, we need to describe the plane that we want to mirror across. If we look down at our world coordinate, we're in YZ. That's going to create a plane that would cut right down the center of our object here. So by default, YZ plane is there. That's exactly what we want. And then we also want to merge it with the original object. So this will ultimately create just one single node. Our settings are good. We'll choose Mirror Cut. So now the Mirror Cut tool is applied, but I'm not quite seeing exactly what I expected. I get the Mirror Cut plane and its manipulator. We can see that it is a separate node that gets applied to the object. And let's open the outliner so we can see exactly what's happening here. So here I have a new node, a Mirror Cut plane node. Then I have a Mirror Cut mesh node with a separate transform on it. I'm going to go back to my cut plane node, and let's make our outliner a little smaller here. Now, before I do anything else, I want to check the wireframe. Now, as we've seen before, sometimes when we add certain tools, our shader disappears from faces. That might have happened here. So let's just go to our wireframe mode, and we can just click that icon. And no, it didn't happen. We can see that the geometry is all there in shaded mode. We're just not getting the results we want. So we'll go back to shaded. So what's happening here is that it's mirroring across the YZ plane, but it's mirroring the right side to the left. And what we wanted was the left over to the right. So I'm going to select the blue line there to open up the rotate manipulator. And I'm going to rotate this cutting plane 180 degrees so that it flips it around to the other side. There's 90 degrees, and we'll keep going and get that all the way over to the other side. And we'll just type in -90 in there. And I'll switch back to that wireframe. And now you can see, aha, all of the geometry is there, but the shader is missing. So let's hit 5 again. And I'm going to click this icon right here, which you can see is new to 2015. This will automatically assign, just in the viewport, the default Lambert shader. So I don't have to right click and assign a new shader. I can just click that icon there. Now, if I click off of it, it's going to disappear again because we haven't actually changed the shader. So this icon is just for this viewport display only. But we can see that works. Okay, that's exactly what I wanted to see. What's really cool about the Mirror Cut tool is that when I grab the translate, I can still manipulate how this fence is being mirrored. So if I translate in the Z, we can expand it out, making our fence piece longer. We can only go as long as the original piece. So eventually here, it's going to break away. And see that we get another post there. But we can even line it back up to that post in order to extend it, or bring it in even tighter and make a smaller section. If we are making something like a fence, we could get a lot of different pieces by using the mirror cut tool very quickly. So I'm going to drag that back out and put that back there. Okay. And I'm going to select it. And now let's delete the history. We like this piece here as is. We'll choose Edit, Delete by Type, History. Now that does not get rid of the nodes. Now the nodes were connected to the history, but they're separate objects themselves. So we have to delete these manually. So I'll just select those there inside of the outliner and we'll choose Delete. Now I have a nice clean fence piece. Let's add this one more time. We'll go to Mesh, Mirror Cut, and we're going to look at this a little bit differently. Instead of translating, what we can also do is rotate. And so I can get a corner piece out of this as well. Okay, and even with it rotated, we could still translate to change the shape of that. And we can get our little post right there. Boom, we have an awesome completed corner piece. You can create miles and miles of fencing with no problem. So experiment with the mirror cut tool. You can get all sorts of different shapes from just one object.